we've been given a few extra minutes, so we have 17 minutes, and I want to make sure the panel have sufficient time then to pick up the key issues that are coming out of this, but I also want to give the audience a final opportunity, and I think the question that I'd like us to try and focus on in the last 17 minutes is the one which John kind of presented, which is you're ushered into the office of the Minister of Finance, who has a very large budget and is really concerned with both the micro and the macro. Because ministers of finance, of course, are concerned with the health and welfare of their population, but they're also keeping an eye on what's happening to global markets, to exchange rates, and so on. And ministers of finance are very busy people. So you have only 5 minutes of her time. And you have to say to her, this is the question I would like you to answer. Minister, if you do one thing on Monday morning, to build the resilience of your nation, it should be, and complete that sentence in not more than 10 words. And if any of you would like to do it on a sheet of paper and pass it to the front, then we'd be really happy to have it. But I'm going to ask the panel that question in a second. Minister, if you do one thing on Monday morning for the resilience of your nation, it should be. Does anybody want to offer a quick answer to the question in 15 words? Any hands up? I'll take 2 or 3 very quickly, and then I'll give the panel a chance to also to answer the question. Yes, sir.
3 words. Link people with water.
Say it again.
Link people with water, because water and people, they are in center for resilience. So everything will revolve around water. So link water with people.
Put more money into water programs.
Management.
Okay. Any other contributions? Yep.
See, it is water.
Gina from Oxfam. I would say invest in women's empowerment.
Anybody else, if I walk around this way?
I would beg the Minister to create the conditions to empower small-scale horticulture to develop. It creates more jobs, it improves nutrition, and it builds resilience in the farming community.
Thanks very much. All right, let's come back to the panel then, and perhaps I'll go the other way, and so that Caroline will give you the last word. This is not an opportunity really for each of us to pursue our own special interests, because that would be a very easy thing to do, and all the special interests are right. But as John correctly said, planning is about choosing. So I want to know really about the choices, and let me tell you that we have precisely 12 minutes. So that means 12 divided by 7 is 1 5/7 of a minute each. Daniel.
So bottom-up community capacity. Invest in communities, invest in social networks, empower the women and vulnerable groups in those communities.
That was very quick, well done.
I actually would agree over there. I think investment in women's empowerment is probably among the most strategic things anyone can do. I think it's actually unfair to say, well, look, Minister, I'm going to give you one big idea and this is it. The whole notion of tackling a problem, which, creating a more resilient society, there has to be an understanding this is a longer term project, and providing stability and strengthening key institutions, which a Minister for Finance should have an interest in, and asking which are the key institutions and how you can strengthen those and commit to that, to supporting that over a longer term period. That, I think, would be a crucial component for any forward-thinking Minister for Finance.
Thanks very much. Arvind.
Just following on that, if it is indeed the Minister of Finance, I would suggest institutionalizing, that they invest in the institutional capacity to actually do ongoing economic work on assessing resilience investments across multiple ministries, and start to build the case and understanding and a long-term institutional capacity on making those choices, because I don't think I'd be able to convince the Minister to prioritize any one sector.
Okay. John?
Well, Minister Simon Maxwell, I'm going to answer your question directly.
I wish. We all wish, but unfortunately not yet.
Assuming, given where we're sitting, that you are the Minister of Finance and Economic Development for Ethiopia, for every $1 you invest in nutrition in Ethiopia, you will gain somewhere between $10 and $12 in economic returns. So, Minister, if you invest $100 million, your economic return in Ethiopia will be on the order of between $1 billion and $1.2 billion. And, Minister, are you willing to leave $1 billion on the table by failing to make this investment?
I don't know Ethiopian, but I know in China, the policy-making process, we need to convince the premier. So not the 50, yes, not the 50 words, but the 2,500 words you have to write in that way. So it should be evidence-based. We have a social experiment. We prove that for them, usually they have two questions. Should we do that? You need to prove, yes, we need to do that. Second, could we do that without corruption, without other problems? So there's evidence. We did an experiment in two counties. That's the way we convince them to conduct the big program. But also, we have an alliance with the media and with the international organization. We taught him about there are more than 70 countries, 70 countries have a school feeding program. So why not China? That's one approach. India used another approach. Professor Amartya Sen with some other scholar sued in the Supreme Court. So they get the social right for all students. That's another approach. I don't know in African country which one you would like to take. Thank you.
Thank you very much.